This is the Avocado Project.
Do you know who that was, Matt?
I do know that. When I was a kid, yes.
That's right. It's the infamous Microsoft Sam, a text-to-speech robotic voice that was introduced in Windows 2000, I think it was Windows 2000 or Windows XP. And its primary purpose was to provide basic screen reading and accessibility features, allowing users to listen to text on their computer screens. It later gained a cult following for its use in memes, YouTube videos, and retro gaming. In this episode, we are talking about AI. Artificial intelligence has been pretty hot and a popular topic for the past few years. From chatbots to voiceovers, actors to film production, graphics art, and its impact and use in multiple industry fields and workplaces. How crazy has AI been the past few years, Matt?
I remember when it first came out with ChatGPT, you would put in a prompt and you would ask it to generate, let's say, like a blue background with, I don't know, a robot on the right and, I don't know, Godzilla on the left. And it would basically paint you that whole entire picture. And that's how it
Yep.
really started out to me when I saw it.
I think when ChatGPT came out, it was amazing. Like a lot of people were using it for their assignments, their thesis, their research. Some people were even using it for medical advice. Now, obviously, you have to proceed with caution. Yeah, I think, it's been amazing in some ways and actually quite scary. The reason for this is, well, we see AI being used a lot to automate processes, right? We see this used in fielding candidates for particular roles. And what I mean by that is AI is being used to screen cover letters, to screen resumes and CVs. So there are companies using AI in their HR departments, their recruitment departments, to
Right.
streamline the process of trying to find the perfect candidate for their jobs. So if a particular CV, cover letter, or resume doesn't have every single criteria ticked, people can miss
Right.
out just getting past the screening interview. So AI, it is a double-edged sword when companies use AI to recruit people. I think that it can potentially, or it is currently replacing white-collar workers, and it does create it can create an unfair system, I think.
Just to go back to what you were saying before, one of the biggest concerns with AI that it's slowly destroying that digital content, like what can be trusted online. I know we said this in a previous episode when we were talking about online and stuff when it comes to internet. You know, people are going to be seeing stuff on there, whether it's a video, a voice recording, or a photo or something, and they're going to stop knowing what's real online. Deepfake technology can already generate realistic videos of politicians speaking. I know when I scroll across Facebook, I'm seeing a lot of AI videos, and you're seeing a lot of older people take it as fact and believe that it's real. You get things where you have celebrities doing things that they never did, or ordinary people appearing in, whatever situation has been generated by the person who's generated it. AI voice cloning can recreate someone's speech patterns with only a short audio sample. I know people can do this, like you streaming sites like Twitch, Rumble, Kick. People even do it on YouTube as well when they're trying to do some sort of video. There is a little small problem to that. It means that you can have scammers or bad actors that could imitate your family members, business executives, or public figures. And the scary part is it doesn't even need to be perfect. The older you are, the more you're going to believe it. I will say people our age and just a little bit younger can kind of pick if it's fake or not, or we start to question a little bit more. Uh, Online content spreads so quickly that a fake clip only needs to look believable for a few hours, not even a few hours, like a few minutes before millions of people have already seen it. They've reacted to it, they've reposted it, and then formed opinions around it. And even if it later gets debunked, the damage is already done because people tend to remember emotional reactions more than corrections.
Yeah, no, you made all very good points. I think AI already is being used for that type of propaganda. And there's lots of misinformation that can spread from AI. Obviously, it can actually mimic a certain individual, politician, you name it.
Mm.
Going back to your point with voiceovers, now that is a very correct. It is a scary thing because you only need a small sample of someone's voice, and you can create a synthetic copy of that voice and use it for your own content, or use it
Mhm.
for someone else's. They can make money from it. They can monetize it, so on and so on and so on. We definitely, I feel, need regulation in that respect when it comes to copyright and
Right.
protecting artists. Let's take a 180 and talk about other things regarding to AI, specifically when it comes to the workforce and the workplace. We see already, you go to a supermarket, right? You go to Woolies, Coles, Aldi, right? They already have self-service checkouts. There's no human intervention unless, something goes wrong at the checkout and you need someone to you need one of the workers to scan their card. You know how they scan their card to fix something that's wrong?
I do.
I mean, AI is already being used to weigh food, loss prevention, stuff like that. And it's already replaced some of the workers at a supermarket.
There is a right amount to help take the load off your work, but there shouldn't be so much that it takes you out of work, basically.
Exactly right.
Yeah. So if we rely on it too heavy, you're using it for memory, navigation. You don't have to memorize phone numbers anymore because phones store them automatically. GPS, then again, I take that back. GPS is quite good. Search engines, how they retain information on the internet, and it's making it easily accessible. These things, some of them are okay, but I feel like there needs to be some sort of regulation in. I know it sounds silly, but I think you should have some sort of AI law in and at least regulate a lot of your deep fakes when it comes to recordings and videos. Disclosure of AI generated content would be amazing. You don't know how many things I've seen whether it goes to movies, video games, or TV shows that I've seen that have implemented this sort of stuff. And also limit the dangerous uses of it too, because people also need to understand that technology moves very fast. So you need to kind of bring these in as quick as you can before it gets a little bit too out of hand.
And just to mention, just to go back to a previous point I made about AI being in workplaces and the workforce, the type of quality that, especially in white collar jobs, office jobs, the type of quality it produces or generating content, there's a lot of AI slop, and
Yes.
it takes a lot more time for someone behind the screen to fix what AI has produced than it is to do it from scratch. It's not always perfect. And it's not always ideal to use AI for your business.
This is ties back to what I was saying before about people getting too dependent on AI as well. They'll put in a prompt, it'll write something out for you, and I don't understand why, but people seem to have a bit more trust when it comes to the AI doing something. So they'll then use that. Someone might read it. They're going to pick up instantly on what you can write and how your work is. That's what I meant about being too dependent on this sort of stuff. You get too dependent, you start to get sloppy, and it doesn't seem authentic.
Yeah, not only is it not authentic, but the quality is not the same. Even in marketing and the advertising field, they sometimes encourage their workers, say their content writers or their marketing assistants or marketing managers, to use AI to streamline a brief, right?
Right.
But the quality of the work that can be produced by AI is suboptimal. It's not even good. You'd still have to go and fix stuff. I mean, there is still a human intervention to correct the course, to make sure that the brief is adapted to, the company's tone, the company's brand, which AI can't do. AI doesn't know what the company's about.
Going back to what you were saying before about AI in a lot of white collar jobs, it's good at processing information, it's good at writing text, analyzing data, generating your reports, summarizing different actions that they do. It goes from your administration to your coding, your accounting, graphic designs, what we're talking about before, when we spoke about prompts being put in, journalism. I'm pretty sure there's been a lot of a lot of AI generated articles written by journalists, and it is a huge issue because and it used to be quietly integrating it into the workforce, but now it's flowing in very aggressively. And if you are very well tuned to detecting AI or AI being used, you can see how this is a problem. You know, AI might not replace every worker, but it can make every worker compete against machine level efficiency. And while that sounds good on paper, it's not good for the person.
No, it's not good for the workforce. There is a thing happening right now in the US, and there's a movement happening where because there's no AI regulation in place, and there are lots of billionaires right now investing in AI data centers and AI in general to improve it. Are they doing it for good reason? Are they doing it to improve productivity, or are they doing it to replace humans? It's definitely dangerous right now as we speak because we don't know what more it's capable of, right? Because I know China and America are currently investing a lot of money in AI data centers, a lot of money in improving AI. Is this a race to the bottom? You know, is this a race to the bottom for the overall human workforce? Are we going to be replaced by AI? That's one of the scariest thoughts right now. I mean, I don't think an AI can cook if they had like a robot that can cook.
Not yet. Not yet.
Not yet. But yeah, we see, you know, like you said, blue collar workers, if you're working in a warehouse, in a shed, even in logistics, I mean, I could probably see it taking hold right now as well. Originally, you know, when ChatGPT came out, I thought, wow, what's this fuss about? Why are people using it for their assignments? Why are people using it for, you know, creating a meal plan or a health or a fitness plan? Like it does things. Yeah, I was just curious as to what the whole fuss is with ChatGPT. There's an entertainment value to it, right? But on the flip side, its whole purpose is to replace, not so much improve, but I guess you could argue that it does actually increase some type of productivity or boost productivity in some way. I think that it does impact the workforce. It's being used, it's being implemented in various different industries and professions and fields. Like I said, the legal profession, lawyers using it to compose opening statements and whatnot. We see it being used in the marketing and advertising fields. So there's an array of industries that AI is being used to, I guess you could say, streamline. But it seems to be what its purpose is for to replace. AI has actually put a lot of industries on notice. So they're either going to embrace it or implement it partially into their fields or not include it at all until it's polished and fine-tuned and to know what its uses are for their business. So what do you think, Matt? Do you think that AI is here to stay? Do you think it's going to replace the human workforce eventually? Or do you think there will be a movement, or do you think there is already a movement in place to prevent AI from getting to that point?
You're always going to have, you know, different movements that are going to be pushing against this sort of stuff. You know, if you have enough voices that they're yelling and enough strikes, obviously you will have certain companies that will fold and bring back the workers. White collar or blue collar that could go on strike, and you know, who's there to operate the robots to help with certain types of works. You know, I think the biggest takeaway from all of this that is AI isn't really a future conversation anymore. You know, it's already here. It's already changed industries, creativity, and the way people interact online. What started as a tool for convenience is quickly becoming something bigger. And this is going back to what I said earlier. We're only at the early stages of this. You know, it's going to obviously advance further than we can imagine in the coming decades. Companies are restructuring around AI because it saves money and increases productivity, but at the same time, it raises questions about job security, value of a worker.
It's ethical use.
That's right, yeah. And whether society is moving faster than people can realistically adapt to. And maybe that's the weirdest part about all of this. None of it feels dramatic in the moment. AI didn't just arrive with robots walking down the street. It quietly slid into our smartphones, into workplaces, entertainment, schools. There you go, schools. Your kids going to school. We've got AI that is implemented into schools and social media where people were distracted living their normal life. And I don't think AI itself is automatically good or evil. Probably going to become one of the most powerful tools that humanity's ever created. But the real danger is if people become too dependent on it and, they stop thinking critically, or they allow convenience to slowly replace human creativity, their interactions, and their own thoughts, right? Maybe AI helps humanity evolve a little bit further. Maybe it creates problems that we don't fully understand yet. But either way, I think the real question now isn't whether AI changes the world. It's whether humanity changes with it in a way we can still control. That's probably the thing that I really, really want to think about. What's going to be happening in decades to come? What's going to happen when I'm dead in the dirt?
Look, knock on wood that it doesn't replace the working class, even the working to middle class. I think AI certainly has had an impact right now in a lot of fields and industries, and I hope it doesn't take a complete hold. I don't think it should, but it really comes down to the businesses now and to companies, whether they use AI. It's drawn us to think that we certainly need AI regulation in place. I don't think we have any AI regulation currently in Australia to combat this. When it comes to deepfakes, when it comes to using ChatGPT, when it comes to creative uses, when it comes to creative licenses and who owns the content. AI, artificial intelligence, is it here to stay?
I think AI is here to stay. It's going to become one of the most important technologies humanity's ever created. Every major technological shift in history has come with a bit of uncertainty at the start of it. The internet changed society completely. We were free to run rampant, search stuff up, upload stuff. Then we had smartphones, which changed the way we interact with people, whether it's video calls or texting. And AI is likely going to do the same. The difference that is this time, people are actually talking about the risks early. And this kind of pulls me back to the start where I spoke about AI laws coming in or helping to inform people about the risks of AI. It shows that there is still time to shape how AI develops instead of blindly accepting everything.
So what do you guys think? Do you think AI is here to stay? Do you think it will replace the workforce? Are we in danger of becoming essentially jobless in the future? If you like our content, lend us your support by dropping a like, comment, and subscribe. This helps us push out our podcast to more people. Thank you for listening to the Avocado Project.
Bye.